It does help.
Is it set to default? Yeah, that's the problem. OBS sometimes does not know that default should be your freaking mic.
No, the thing is, whenever Windows does an update, it somehow makes my computer forget my Blue Yeti.
Oh, it does it with my mic as well.
And it's exceptionally annoying.
My microphone is set as my standard input device, and it still screws it up. Oh, Twitch is live now, so no one say fudge or bugger.
Well then.
Ovaries.
So then, Dungeon Master Seph, would you like to tell us a story?
Yes. Last time, the party found that Harramount had given them a slip just by a mere mark threshold by turning into an osprey, escaping with the Australians, and headed straight for the Ventrali Empire. After a day to get themselves ready, get set, they head off in hot pursuit. And we left them as they arrived in Ventral City. We pick up with them, having left Ark on the docks, making their way through the gates into the city itself.
So, Seph, I need to confirm the obvious. We're in an entirely other country, aren't we, at this point?
Yes, you are.
So, my jurisdiction as an Admiralty official is null and void, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But if I'm a naughty boy, it reflects badly on my government, so I have to be on my best behavior. No pressure.
You
do.
Don't we have friends here? Or am I completely mistaken?
Yes, Jeremiah, we do have friends here, but our friends are part of a shadow government.
Yes, but they'd get us out of some trouble.
All I'm saying is that if we do see Harramount in the streets, we can't just, loudly detain him. Because he has protections here, most likely. We are likely to have to be sneaky and rely on our shadowy governmental friends. I'm just saying I can't just loudly proclaim his arrest. That's all I'm saying.
Oh. Well, I have to admit, subtlety is not always my strength.
Well, you needn't worry, Jeremiah. I'm sure our friends know that we're already here. Particularly since we have her beloved daughter in tow. I'm sure she'll want to collect her.
That's actually a fair point.
Yeah.
Wait, where is Anarchy? Did she run off already?
No, roll me a... Actually, I won't bother asking you to roll perception. Yeah, Anarchy's kind of stood with you, with Orla, and with Ardeth.
Well, we should probably go and visit our friends. Maybe they can help us a little bit. They probably know about his whereabouts.
Oh, I'm inclined to agree. But on that point, do you happen to know where we can meet up with our friends?
Turns to Anarchy and Ardeth.
Well, there's the Mistress's Club, which is where she's based, so logically speaking, that would probably be the best place to find her.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to have to sniff it out, but if you know, lead the way.
Okay. The party, as I say, they made their way in through the main gates of the city. Well, So, make your way up the street here. Eventually, you find yourself there. Making your way into the cantina bearing the unmistakable mask symbol.
Wow, those kids in the fairground are really loud.
I have to ask, Seth, as we were walking through the city, like, because the image you use invoked Venice. Is this very much like fantasy Venice?
Very much so. Very much so.
What's the general vibe of the place? What's the atmosphere?
Pretty much a bit of a party city, to be honest. There were kind of street performers outside. There was a lot of hustle and bustle. Generally, people were having a good time.
Storm's reminded of Charleston City.
And it's universally moist.
Oh, yes. As you enter, you see... As you enter, you see a grey-skinned male tiefling with a goatee beard sat in one of the booths. Seems to be counting out some money. And as you look around, you notice another familiar figure wearing gold hooded robe.
Who is this familiar figure?
Roll me a perception.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Everyone or just Squish?
Anyone who wants to.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
Would you care to explain who it is currently sat at the bar?
I have a quick question for you before I tell you who's at the bar really fast. I have to know something because it's important.
Go on.
It's right there.
Alright, 1 second.
It has come in writing. I did not expect you to master that art that quickly.
Just waiting to hear from Seph.
I think I know exactly who's sitting there.
This is important, so I'm sorry to make
it's all right. It's all right.
It is basically what you see at the bar in a woman with these golden highlighted robes, white and gold, and she is sitting at the bar as if waiting for you. And if the perception checks are high enough, you might recognize this is a human version of a face you haven't seen for a while, that of Holly. Whether you recognize her as Holly or not is up to you. It is, she's not wearing glasses. Maybe she's Holly's human sister, but sure doesn't feel that way to the perception.
I would say everyone except Sammy, yeah, you recognize her. Sammy, you're just kind of sensory overload from all of this opulence.
Ooh, shiny.
I'm glad you agreed I could figure it out, because I was about to argue, but I'm the dragon boy! I know dragons!
You barely scraped it. You barely scraped it.
And she very softly says, "Hello, everyone."
Hi.
And that voice is unmistakable. She sounds the same.
Hello,
Squish runs over excitedly
Holly.
with little Biddy right behind her.
Holly bends down and moves to try to hug Squish.
Storm's just gonna wave and just say in Draconic, "Hello, Holly."
Hello, Storm.
You've come a long way very quickly.
And she moves to stand. Or, sorry, go ahead. What did Squish say?
What brings you here?
Changes are happening. I want to see all of you. I think you're ending something and beginning something new. This seems like a good time.
Well, we certainly plan on ending something, as he sits at the bar.
She says, I apologize. I'm still working on these changes to make them function. I figured my old self might be recognized by someone. This seemed like a good compromise. She's much calmer than she was before. She speaks more slowly. I haven't been able to see as much of your journey as I would want. Catch me up, will you? Oh, it's so good to see you all. I'm so overwhelmed.
So, I have to ask, are there any, telltale signs that she's a polymorphed dragon? Because some dragons, particularly the younger ones, have a hard time suppressing draconic features when they're polymorphed.
I would say her pupil, her eyes have the same colour they were before, but pupil is slit. And her hair does have gold highlights, but other than that, it's pretty good.
I must say, Holly, for someone so new to being a dragon, your polymorph is quite impressive.
I have an excellent teacher. Well, a whole city of excellent teachers. Storm, you look so well. And Squish and Jeremiah. Gracious. This just seems like a good time to visit with you all before you begin the next chapter of your life.
That reminds me. Before we carry on, I've got to say thank you for our wedding gift. Still just kind of motions to the golden scale necklace and points to Squishes.
She looks over at them and says, oh, how lovely. You're wearing me.
We like to think you're with us.
It like that.
What?
It sounds really weird when you phrase it like that.
Well, it makes me feel like I'm be able to stay close to you even after.
See, that's the point.
Even though I've moved to a different kind of being, a different place in my life, as all of you are too, so shortly. Jeremiah, you look as thoughtful as ever.
I have to admit, I just wonder what brought you here, and what this beginning of a new chapter is.
Well, why don't you tell me? What do you think is coming?
The end of one adventure and the beginning of the next one.
She kind of nods her head and says, gestures yes, exactly. She just.
Yeah, you're damn right. Storm just wraps his tail around Squish and pulls her close to him.
Holly smiles.
Sorry, you first.
Holly just smiles at that, is all I said. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yes, they already took a peek into their next chapter, so to speak. And he chuckles, obviously, meaning it as a friendly joke.
Well, I'm not going to suggest that dragons have insight into the future.
I mean, for you, a new chapter has begun as well.
Oh, quite some time ago. How is everyone, though? How are you doing? I don't want this to be about me. I want to reunite with you and help you. I have some time to spend with you all. If you'll have me on this next few moments.
By all means, we'll be glad for the pleasure of your company. We've been doing well, it's just that with Harramount constantly slipping out of our grasp, it's starting to get a bit frustrating for everyone. Isn't that right, gang?
Even my perceptions are... Sorry, go ahead.
That's true. He snuck away from under our fingers, and apparently he's in the city now.
I'd tell you where he is if I knew, but as I said, things are clouded for me now. Farther out into the future, yes, I do see things. I'm not going to tell you, but for now, I'm not going to be much use in telling you where Harramount is.
Well, there is something else you could help with.
Oh? What's that?
Well, I imagine you're not here by chance, so we have a lovely daughter to return to her mother.
Yes.
Don't suppose you could let her know we're here?
I could certainly do that. Are they talking about Anarchy?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. She says, and is Anarchy there with them?
Yep, Anarchy's there with him, though she seems to be pestering the Teifling male that you saw, the party saw before.
I just picture the idea of her looking around and not seeing Anarchy, and then they part, the group parts a little bit, and then Anarchy's standing there pestering someone. Anarchy. Hello, it's Holly. Hello, Anarchy.
Holly! Miss Holly!
Sorry, I lost you. What?
I don't know if you want me to do the voice for her.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to.
Miss Holly, you're back!
Yes. Good job.
Sweetness.
She says, I never left. I've always watched over you.
I
much as I
thought so.
She says, has your captaincy been fruitful?
Yeah, but I had to stay on the ship for a while. It was boring.
But safe.
Safe is boring. I gotta stab.
You have such a destiny, Anarchy. Such a destiny.
Thankfully, with you here, Holly, might get into her head, but she has to keep her head down right now.
That's probably for the best. You should reunite with your mother.
That's
I
the
haven't
problem.
seen Miss Missy in ages.
That's the problem. This male Tiefling has basically walked over at this point and talked to the group.
Yes.
The mistress went to visit the palazzo a few hours ago, and she hasn't. Usually it's nothing to worry about, but, well, of late the council have been petulant, to say the least.
I can't say I'm entirely surprised.
Would Holly be able to figure out what that would mean for that she should go find her, or that there's something to investigate or something like that? Because unfortunately the player has fallen behind and has not been able to catch up due to other life things. So I want to know what would be the context for how Holly would approach that.
You worked for the mistress long enough to know this man, Balzo, is usually the mistress's lead enforcer.
And he's safe and trustworthy?
He's very safe, he's very trustworthy.
And then she leans forward and says, "It's Holly, it's a long story."
Well, yes, you didn't think I wouldn't recognize you?
Well, I wasn't sure if anyone would. As Storm said, polymorph is difficult.
Yes, well, I see things beyond what most people see.
Speaking of which, is Ardeth there?
She is, yes.
She just waves over to Ardeth and Orla.
Ardeth kind of waves back and
then Holly makes a little motion with her hand, like, "Are you two together?"
Roll me an insight check.
I can't roll anything. I'm voice only from where I am.
Well, I would say I'll roll it for you, and everyone else roll insight as well.
Dragon insight.
Yeah, I would say it's very clear that they are together, but Ardeth's kind of little cage on the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what causes a grin across Holly's human features, and she just bows her head and nods, like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh no, they're friends.
Did you actually say that,
No.
Jeremiah?
No.
No, I wasn't sure because Holly didn't ask if they were together. She just did a hand gesture. So if you threw that out, like in response, that would be a different reply.
Yeah.
Did he actually say it?
No.
Okay. Then she's just like, she just nods and then she says, "Now, Balzo, let's see what we need to do in order to get things, to get Anarchy back to her mother. How can I help?"
Right now, we just need to keep Anarchy here and keep her safe.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can trust me to do that.
Of course I know I can trust you to do that. I was the one who hired you in the first place, remember?
Well, I mean, especially now.
Like I say, the mistress can take care of herself, but that's a problem with her rule being an open secret. People know where to come to find her.
Also, at the same time, I have to be careful. There are people and forces who know who and what I am, and I wouldn't want to express specific allegiances at this point in time would be dangerous and injudicious, so I am maintaining discretion myself.
Look, this place, you know this place, it's practically a fortress, but...
She nods and says, "Even so, voices don't care about walls."
You know, Holly, I hate to interrupt, but I'm just saying, indiscretion, hanging around with us, probably not gonna happen.
Well, as I was saying, Mr. Balzo kind of makes a gesture to...
His name is Storm Upon the Sea.
I can introduce myself.
I introduce you because so he understands that you are a part of the group.
Oh, Jeremiah, never change.
You have said that with a hint of sarcasm so many times, Holly.
Yes, Storm Upon the Sea, Admiralty Investigator. I'm palling around with this lot.
Balzo Amenities, I am the mistress's security expert.
I vouch for him also. I know both of you, and you're both. I think you could both be friends.
Well, like I say, nothing dangerous gets through that door, but if it does, I have these. He kind of taps with two scimitars on his belt.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Balzar, and I am very grateful that Anarchy will be under your protection. There's been far too many close calls in recent days, and I do not feel comfortable having her around at this climatic juncture.
Yes.
Rest assured, while you're within these four walls, you are all perfectly safe.
Aye, but we can't be here forever, especially with our prey skittering about. The rat may run out of places to run, but give him enough time and he'll weasel out of our grasp again.
Oh, I doubt it. We've already taken some precaution.
Care to share, or is that a secret?
Well, that depends on the type of people who you're willing to work with.
We're open for suggestion, I would say.
I have no political power here, so I'm all ears to suggestions.
It's not so much politics as how squeamish are you about working with vampires, Sawagin, creatures like that.
Yeah, I reckon I could live with it.
You don't mean one person who's a vampire Sawagin, do you?
Oh, no. I mean vampires and Sawagins. You know that we have both in our employ.
I wonder what a vampire Saugen would be like. Very frightening.
More than likely, given how blood tends to make them go crazy.
That's what the player was thinking. Holy shit.
But yes, we have agents ready to intervene if he attempts to escape again.
Well, I think we're all happy to hear that. I know I am.
And we have our ways of keeping the undead in this city in line, so I wouldn't worry about that too much either.
That's good to hear.
Yes, the mistress has a very interesting methods. You watch as he very slowly draws the scimitar, places his fingertip on the blade, and slowly draws it up. The blade starts to emit a bright, searing light as he gently licks off his fingertip.
Now that is a neat trick.
Seconded.
Yes. It is a unique power that Mistress knows how to create. I personally am what is known as a ghost slayer. I specialize in eliminating the undead, but some people can channel electricity, coal, fire with their blades. All you need is a little bit of blood.
I'm fairly certain you also have someone who has an acid blade for that.
We've not perfected that yet, but we shall probably do so in the future. We have a few exceptionally gifted mages amongst our number. But please sit down. Since you have been such gracious friends to our dear Miss Anarchy, the drinks will be on the house for tonight.
Oh, fantastic. I'll have a pint of the local, whatever you recommend.
Holly sits down next to Anarchy. Sorry, go ahead.
1 second. I just need 1 second to talk amongst yourselves while I get this prepared.
Holly sits down with them all and says, or before she does, she says, "If you'll have me for the meal."
You're our friend, Holly. You don't even have to ask.
Well, until certain events happened, you were a constant of our party. So why would we not want you here?
Well, I'll admit a part of me has always worried that you felt that I abandoned you when you needed me most. Though what I went through wasn't really all my choice. And I think we all know that I would have drawn too much attention from the world if I had accompanied you in my condition at the time.
Holly, how many years do we know each other now?
Time has changed its meaning for me, but a long time by your standards, Jeremiah.
Indeed, you should know better than me just abandoning a friend.
Thank you.
So even if everyone else had said no, I would have said yes.
I've missed you all so much. So much. It's being with you today is so magical. It really is. She gets emotional, her voice quaves, and she sounds a little bit more like the Holly you know.
Speaking of magical, how's your pregnancy coming along?
Well, gracious. She says, she kind of blushes, reaches up to feel her cheek, and says, "Oh, so that's, oh, yes, I'd forgotten how that felt, blushing." And then she said, "Huh.
I'm not meaning to be rude. I'm asking as a ranger who specializes in dragons."
Well, then you know how long a dragon pregnancy can take.
Absolutely, but no difficulties. You're adapting okay.
Oh, yes, of course.
Glad to hear it. You certainly seem in high spirits.
I am very much in high spirits, but that's also got to do with all of you being here And now you and Squish are a couple, and the other couples in the world, and it is wonderful to see everyone finding love, even in these dark times.
How have you been dealing with the hoarding instinct? That must have been rather difficult to adapt to.
I'm just gonna say retroactively that you look down and she's been like collecting like the salt packet, the salt shakers or something. Unless anyone objects to that.
No, not at all.
She looks down and she's like, "Oh, here."
Salt. An interesting choice.
Well,
You can never have enough salt.
but to be honest, it is a very pretty crystal.
Yes,
You're not wrong.
I find myself drawn to crystals. Gems in particular.
Well, aren't you a gem yourself?
Yeah, well, of course they are sparkly and shiny. Who wouldn't want them?
Yes, in that regard, I have to admit you've been very good, Squish, with not
Holly would get mad at me if I kept
silly
doing things like
things.
that.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you, Squish. You've accomplished so much. You have so much more to accomplish. And Midnight, you look well. And then she says in like quiet, breathy draconic, she says, just to Midnight, she says, "You are such a noble champion warrior, protecting your mother like this." And very quietly, like just almost
Midnight looks extremely happy. As you're talking, Balzo, he's having a few quick heated words with Anarchy before. Everyone roll me a perception check.
Just gonna say, Holly,
Yeah.
you owe me like so many toys for all the things I haven't stolen.
Do I then?
You can all see that this isn't the first time Balzo and Anarchy have argued over her trying to stay out of trouble. But yeah, this time he's definitely having none of it, and he just basically points for her to sit down immediately. He just very quickly goes over to the bar and then comes back to you lot. Right, well, I told Bella at the bar just to order what you like, and she'll sort you out.
Sent you another message.
I will say yes to that date. Yeah.
Holly, and one more thing. Last thing.
Yes, it can be.
Okay. So Holly goes, "Oh," when you said about the toys, Holly says, "Did I then?" And then she like reaches down and like pulls open part of her cloak, the gold and white cloak she's wearing, and she retrieves a small bag and she hands it over to Squish.
Squish will have a look at it.
It is a bag of holding. It is a large bag of holding, and it is filled with puzzle toys. Lots and lots of puzzle toys. The Fantasy Times equivalents of like the marble puzzles and the block puzzles and the Rubik's Cube kind of things and all of that. Lots of them.
Storm just kind of peers over. It's toys all the way down.
Squish, try not to fall into it.
Squish has already fished out one. Has like played away with it. She quickly grabs out a second one and hands it over to Midnight. And the two of them just kind of like settle and play with them.
She says, and there are trinkets in there for all of you. Unfortunately, I can't interfere with any grand gifts.
And now you just got me curious.
Well, I would say the grand gift is that you are here.
Absolutely.
She says, I prefer it for the rest of you if you waited until after to dump the contents out. Let's Squish find the things one at a time.
Of course.
But
Okay,
Oh.
more
I brought
importantly,
gifts.
we'll
Are
play with these
those
later.
linking rings?
Mhm. What did you say, Jeremiah?
I just noticed that you have some of these magic toys in there as well. You know, the linking rings.
She says, puzzles.
Yes.
He says, I thought you would like the puzzles, Squish.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Good. She says, and there's gifts for everyone. Just when you have time, you can go through and try and take out everything a little bit at a time. I'd rather you be surprised. Something to think about after I've left. Then.
Yeah, okay. He like, stashes the bag away. Grinning up at Holly.
Storm is actually going to send a message to Samael through Awakened Mind. So heads up, Icy. We got a bit of RP coming in. Samael, isn't there anything you want to tell, Holly? Like about your little uns, perhaps?
About your what?
To be clear, in case you aren't aware, the storm can send messages to people's brains.
Oh no! I just meant like I didn't hear what you said myself, like in out of character.
Oh, okay. Storm is basically asking Sammy if he wants to tell you about his children.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes. Lord Bahamut has informed me that my wife has laid her first clutch.
Congratulations. What an auspicious moment. I'm so happy for you. I'm so anxiously awaiting the birth of my child or children. I understand only the beginning of a journey that you're already well down the road of. She says, they will have my blessing. I promise you.
Thank you, Holly.
That's amazing.
Seems to be that everyone in our little troop is a parent in some way or the other.
That's definitely apparent.
Well, I've kind of filled the role of a parent for Midi over here. But now I don't know if I have a family that I should be fathering over anymore.
Jeremiah, we discussed this, remember? You can have a half-minotaur child in your future.
Oh, yes, but that is a chapter that's still to be written. Wouldn't you say so, Holly?
She says, Jeremiah, stop digging for information about your future. I'm not even going to be coy. I can't tell you anything. Except
right.
the chapter being written. And I've already told you that part. It's hard to explain, but there are rules.
I understand. But
I
yes.
don't want to ruin the surprise, and I don't want to ruin the shock. Grin.
As soon as she says shocked, Jeremiah stops smiling and looks at her with a serious face for a moment.
Yeah, and she says, well, come on. Even if I said only one, that would be a clue.
I mean, yes, I'm thinking about starting my own family.
Good. You should. You should definitely start a family. Become part of other people's lives in ways other than conflict and war. You deserve that.
Then
You deserve...
Then again, and he makes a sweeping motion with his hand. With his hand, my goodness. Then again, this already is my family as well.
Yes, but like I
Aw.
said, yes, I consider you all part of my family. Don't forget, anytime you revisit the city, you can be welcome there.
Can I just ask, who has a passive perception of 16 or higher?
Let me check. Well, Stormy
Yep.
Boy does. And so does Bolt.
Okay,
Nope.
Storm, you would notice Balzo whisper something to Anarchy and then take it to the back rooms.
What's this then?
Huh?
In Anarchy, she's been watching Anarchy, so if Anarchy leaves, Holly would be like, "What's this then?"
Yeah.
Should we
You
really
watch
allow
Anarchy actually
to
kind of
go to the back room with
very
a stranger?
Sorry, what
You'd
was
say
that, sir?
Anarchy looks extremely worried, I would say.
Holly gets
Characteristically
Okay.
worried.
Holly gets up and follows. And you
Okay.
watch, and
As you
sort of-
do,
sorry.
this large bugbear is kind of stood on the doorway, but Balzo kind of is halfway through the door. He just goes, "We might as well all come in."
Well, we weren't bloody well going
And
to stay outside.
you were brought into the back room, which some of you would recognize as the mistress's personal office.
Yeah, Holly knows this place. She's been here
Sat
before.
in the corner is the and sat behind the desk is a strange, pale-skinned, white-haired creature. It's basically down to it's shirtless. She's shirtless. She's obviously wearing underwear, but she appears to be tending to some wounds on her stomach.
Where's
Anarchy is in front of her, basically fussing.
Do I know this person?
You do not.
Anarchy, who is this? She says quietly. She bends down to whisper.
Jurnis, would you mind stepping in as Anarchy's play for these scenes?
I suppose, yeah, sure. Does anybody know
Okay.
who this person is?
Yeah, she knows that this is the mistress in her true form.
It's Miss Missy.
Okay. Need a hand
Mistress.
there, mistress?
No, it's
And
fine.
Doesn't
And,
look
and
fine.
Yeah. And
It's just
Holly
flesh wound.
Holly shakes her head. And Holly says, "Let me." And she moves forward. Sorry, go ahead.
No, mistress just kind of. Yeah, the wound. I would say I'll roll you a medicine check.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, Holly is. I'll let you know what Holly's motivation is. She's trying to tell the mistress that she's become a dragon without actually showing it, and she wants to heal to do one last nice thing for the mistress upon bringing Anarchy back. So it's like she's asking to let me indulge healing you.
Yeah, mistress kind of you suspiciously for a moment. She knows it's you, but she goes, "Oh, very well, Holly."
And Holly leans forward, and a golden glow appears on her hands, and her eyes get totally dragony. And
Yeah, go on.
imbues her with healing energy. Draconic healing energy. A dragon's heal spell for a dragon cleric.
Mistress relaxes a little. She feels much better now that she's basically not bleeding. But yeah, she kind of sits back in the chair and just. So I suppose I owe you an explanation.
That would be great. Thank you, ma'am.
Put simply, some troublesome maggots decided that they would try to eliminate
Hmm.
me. They forget just who runs this fucking empire. But ultimately, with the assistance of my dear agent here, well, 2 versus 10, the odds were never in their favor. Despite the appearance. But, yes, I have been somewhat of an ungracious hostess for you all. How may I assist you?
I'm
Well,
here.
it's
Sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
You first. No, you first, D.
She says, Anarchy's returned from her adventures, and we think it's best if she remain where it's safe. I've foreseen that she should not. She quietly says that she hasn't told the others, but then she sort of looks guiltily at them and then looks back and says, I've foreseen that should she accompany them, there will be tragedy.
Yes, I agree. Well, put simply, if those fools had the balls to try to attack me openly like they did, then my anarchy would be in danger.
Which we had no intention of letting happen.
Well, hopefully any co-conspirators have got the message when, well, you'd have to say we left them a nice little message, didn't we, Windwalker? That is true, we certainly did.
And then Holly looks over at Squish and says, or not, at Storm, right in the eyes, and she says, the tragedy wasn't Anarchy's. And then she looks back to listen to the mistress some more.
That's foreboding.
But yes, I would not be too concerned. But tonight, I would, well, I would have the rooms prepared for you in the secret section. Naturally, you'll have your bed and board paid for the next few days, but I would recommend that you do a little job for me in the morning. It may help with your investigation.
Sent a little message to you, Coop, by the way.
Okay.
What
check
kind
that.
of job?
Oh, you must merely consulting with an old friend of mine who works at the Crystal Tower. A wizard who would be this wizard is a, shall we say, famed expert. I think he would be able to help you.
All right. We could use all the help we could get, so we'll definitely hit him up. And we could all use a stretch of the legs after a week at sea.
Of course, enjoy the sights and sounds of Entral City. In the meantime, I shall find your suitable attire for hosting.
And we're very grateful for you having us, as always. But
Indeed.
before we indulge in pleasure, I have to ask you. I presume, since our friend the Windwalker is here, that you are aware of who likely masterminded this attempt on your life?
Oh, I know exactly who's responsible, and I put a blade through his neck.
Excuse me?
Oh, I know exactly who was responsible. I put a blade through his neck.
So it's not Lord Harramount.
Oh no, he's somewhere else in this city. On the ground like a vermin he is.
Hmm.
But I think my friend at the Academia Arcanum would be able to help you with that.
Okay.
Yes,
There's
and
only
if you will
one
have
thing.
me outside... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go on.
And if you'll have me, I'll accompany you there to keep... accompany them there to keep them safe now that Anarchy is here safe at home with you.
Of course. I have Balzo in the Windwalker here to help me.
Should you need me, you know how to reach me any time. You know that.
Of course.
You do know how things have changed, mistress, do you not?
Of course. You do not think I would not recognize a dragon?
She smiles and says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I am but a human cleric attempting to protect these fine people. And then she
Of
just like
course you
walks
are.
out. She walks out. And then but before she does, she bends down to Holly and says, or not Holly, I keep saying Holly. Anarchy. She bends down to Anarchy and says, Anarchy. Just remember, always look to the sky because sometime I'll be there.
Really?
You look down in sorrow, you won't see me.
Okay, I promise I'll keep looking up. Just tilts her head back and looks up immediately.
I think we can all go now. Take care, mistress, as always. And then she like walks out.
You all make your way through Nina back out into the city. Holly, I would say you've been in Ventral City long enough in the past to know your way around.
Yes, she can lead them right there.
So where does the party want to go first?
That is a very interesting question, Molly. Does anyone have somewhere they want to be first? Storm?
I don't particularly think we do, aside from our objective, which is the Crystal Tower.
Yeah, but that is in the morning.
Yep. Well, we could just
Yeah.
take a look around.
I mean,
Get the lay of the land.
Okay.
Holly, you've been here a while. Why don't you show us the sights?
Very well. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
She would introduce them to the Ventralia city. Like, I don't know the map in real life, but she would certainly take them and point out notable landmarks on a circuitous route to the wizard that they were supposed to go find.
Okay. You make your
So they can
way.
familiarize themselves with landmarks.
Yeah, you make your way back towards the main sea gates and carry on down the street until you reach this large, circular, ornate-looking building. It's got wide archway doors situated in various points. And you explain that this is the Grand Market. This is where you can basically find all kinds of things. There's stuff coming in from all over the world coming to here. This is the market of markets.
Ooh. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure we have pretty much everything we need, but the market of markets, guys, gets things from all over the world. You never know what we could find in there. It inflames my Tabaxi curiosity.
it would certainly be interesting to see what they have.
You you have a look around the market. You can see stalls from basically all over the world. There's people from Australia, Holborn, some from further afield places. There's stall holders from IcewindDale. They've got a few things up.
There's a
There's
sign that says "Coming soon, Barovia."
there's one particular stall with a rather unusual looking logo, and it appears to be something called Fiber Geyser.
Oh wow!
It's a little food stall.
I've never been to a Fiver Geyser. I heard they make decent
that the name?
beverages.
Is that the name of the place, or is that the name of what they serve? I'm not
It's,
familiar with it either.
I think I stole stuff from a dumpster behind one of those things once.
Yeah, you recognise that the person stood there has got like a little cardboard hat in the shape of a red kobold head with very large ears.
Oh!
So
I
I'm
wish-
gonna say that the moment like Storm caught a whiff of the Fiver Geyser, like he started sniffing the air, it's like in a cartoon where you can see the scent traveling through the air and it goes through one nostril and out the other.
And then
Yeah,
like
it's
one
pretty-
of Storm's eyes
he
gets
just-
really big and one gets really small.
Yeah. And he just follows it all the way to the stall. Ah, my friend, I must try
Good
what you
morning.
offer.
Yeah.
Good morning.
How can I help you?
That
Oh.
delightful food I smell. What is it? I must have it.
Oh, it's just a special sandwich from Waterdeep called Five Geyser.
Mmm.
It'll cost you 5 silver for this. So you got fried potatoes and our special milkshakes.
Milkshake.
Shakes.
What's that?
It's you take milk, we chill it, and add stuff like peanut butter and honey and stuff like that.
Well, I think I will take one of your Fiver Geyser meals and peanut butter chocolates. What did you call them? Milkshakes? Yes.
And of course, I will pay for their meal. All of them.
Oh, okay.
Storm just already had a platinum out, but he puts it back in his pouch. Not gonna complain.
She looks back at Storm and shakes her head. Of course I'm going to pay for this.
Okay, I'd say it costs about. Let's see, I said 5 silver, didn't I?
Orla's got an appetite, so she's gonna eat 2.
4.
She's an
Yes, it costs
half-orc.
4 gold in total.
Yeah. Holly pays, and because it's Holly and she's visiting the city and she's probably not going to be back for a while, she gives the person 30 gold.
Oh, wow. But just so you know, this is going to go straight to we got disadvantaged kids in Waterdeep.
Oh.
I know. She says, I know. And then she, walks away.
Jeremiah just blinks. Because of course he had heard of the ideas.
Yeah. Squish,
Didn't expect that.
Yes.
I would like you to roll me perception.
There's rat in this burger.
You notice that with your meal, there's a little sealed paper bag.
Can I get a children's toy with my meal?
Open it and find out.
Squish is gonna open the bag and peer in.
You find inside a little keyring-sized plushie of the same red kobold the hat is based on.
That's adorable and I love
I
it.
would
A plushkill.
I would give any amount of money if this was live video. We could all see Kubar right now.
Yeah, my good
Storm.
lord.
Check this out, isn't it adorable? It even
Oh
has a
my
little
god,
plush
his
loot.
ears! Oh, his ears, his little loot, and that snoot! I could boop it.
Where did you say you were headquartered again, young sir?
Waterdeep.
We really need to go
Uh.
to this place someday. Everything's there.
Can I just point out something, Jurnis? Which is, I will bet you anything that Squish being Squish, even though Holly got a gigantic bag of dozens of puzzle toys, it's the Rascal plush Happy Meal object that she's going to be clutching to her chest the whole rest of the day. Isn't it?
I would like someone else to anyone to make me a perception check.
Sure.
Am I right, Jurnis?
Maybe. It'll probably go in her little her stash
Oh.
pouch.
As you look around, you can see other people opening these little bags. There's a green kobold. There's a little halfling and a
Oh,
Tabaxi.
oh!
Uh,
Is there
Seems
one
like
that
there's a
looks
whole
human?
set here.
Is there one that looks like a human, but then you take the hat off and it's a skeleton?
No, but there is a human girl.
Yeah.
amongst the-
Okay.
She's
That's amazing.
well,
I hope that the green one is extra chunky.
oh yeah.
your company is not affiliated with that tavern back in Waterdeep, is it?
This is a recognized trademark of Rascal's Rescue. That's New Holdings PLC.
I didn't
Hey,
hear
didn't
a word
they-
of that.
Rascal's Rescue.
There's a registered trademark of Rascals Rendezvous PLC.
Hey, Jeremiah, didn't, like, Master Bing talk about this rascal guy?
Indeed. I mean, I was apparently working at the working on the headquarters of this fast food empire, because the food was very quickly here.
He's a bard, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Excellent. I'll have to meet him someday. Figured I could use some help writing this book that Orla wants me to do. I reckon I'm good at spinning a yarn. I don't reckon I have the patience to sit down and write one. On top of the report I have to write for the Admiralty, that is.
Yes,
He could give it some punch and zazz.
Sir,
As
this is
Holly
a
sits down,
rascals. God damn
and
it,
this is
love
a
it.
Rascals.
That's brilliant.
and Holly opens hers, and of course, there's no question that the universe aligns, and it is indeed a Cully. And she looks at hangs up a little keychain and goes, "Oh, this speaks to me." And she puts it in the pocket of her cloak.
Wait, why did I get the halfling?
Hey, look, I wanted the little koboldy boy. And I keep this one.
They're all very cute.
You know, I have a pocket for it. So just stuffs the rascal, like, push in one of his, like, long
I'm
coat
just-
pockets.
He stuffed
just
it in his
gonna
pocket.
very-
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to try and put in Dice&Dolts what it might look like, at least from the head up. And once I find where it is,
I will also say at this point that I will bet you anything, Storm. When you put that away, you put the figure in the pocket with the head sticking out and the ears, like it's looking out of your pocket, didn't you?
Absolutely. That was what I was going for.
There we go.
Jeremiah's attaching his to his backpack.
Storm just pats the tiny rascal's head. You just sit there and give me bardic inspiration, little buddy. Oh, it has little squeak. It has yip action.
Jeremiah
What?
squishes his.
oh yes,
Hello.
that's trademark of Tilmadar Magical Developments Limited.
Why does mine sound like it's cackling?
I would like anyone to give me an Arcana check.
I'm fucking dying here.
You knew what you were tempting me with. Yeah, I would say that you all realise that there's a tiny little disc of metal just in the back, soft metal in the back, that it's enchanted so that if you press it, the contact with your finger will cause to produce a sound.
Yep.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah, the thing about yours is that every 50th time you press it, Ash or Jeremiah, the accent goes away.
Hello, 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 hello.
This is why you never. This is why you never dare your DM to do something.
This is amazing. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Well, when I go
Yeah,
off the
no
rails,
complaints here.
I murder a few of you, so this is adorable.
My name is Jeremiah, and this is my favorite Geyser.
You all enjoy your meals. You spend a few more hours looking around. There's a few interesting stalls, a couple from Baldur's Gate. There's a few stalls bearing items from the far north, from the Shadowlands. But it's
Oh, cousin
Yeah.
Dave, good to see you. How is your woodworking going? Yeah, he would be there.
yeah, Dave is there. We don't have a creature to provide us with a Dave, but he is there. It's his joke. He can
Yeah.
act it out.
Yes.
But if you waste a few hours there, and Holly moves you along back out and up to the inner docks. Here it's more small pleasure craft sloops. Basically, the smaller ships that can't make it up through the sea gates to here.
Mm.
And you
It's a bit
can,
of a marina.
as you look out across the water, you can see the Palazzo. This huge ring-shaped structure out in the middle of this central lake. There's a lot of hustle and bustle going on. There's guards running around. Obviously, you realise that this is where the mistress has just come from. And they're still kind of cleaning up after her interference, shall we say, in local government.
So this is the seat of power for all of Ventral. I reckon we're gonna have business here before our time is through.
Most likely.
Aye. You're not the only one who's offered portents of the future, Holly.
Oh, is that so? Who's giving me competition?
Oh, you probably know of her. Misfortune back in Central.
Oh, yes, I remember her fondly. I'm saying nothing.
That's wise. But it seems, at least in one case, she gave us the real deal when it comes to telling the future.
How's that?
Well, she did say that... Trying to remember the exact words, but they fail me. Well, I forget the words exactly, but the gist of it is that at the foot of an empress's throne, the fate of a nation will be decided. I thought that had already come to pass with our adventures in Arcadia. But here we are now, and the mistress is the only other empress we know.
Holly nods and says, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Storm, you notice that Ardeth suddenly looks a little edgy.
Well, she's got black hair all of a sudden and red stripes.
No.
Crawling in my skin.
And I
No,
would assume that she
on
knows.
edge.
Like, go ahead.
She seems
I would
on
ass-
edge.
I would assume Orla can tell.
Yeah, all I can tell.
I'm going to basically try to go with like story instead of dice since I'm limited with what I can do. And she kind of leans forward and says, I'm with you on this, as always.
I know you are. Just still hard to talk about.
You only need to speak in your due time. For now, being here is enough. Have no fear. Have no worry.
Apologies, Ardeth. I didn't mean to open old wounds.
You spend a couple of minutes just looking out over all the beautifully coloured little caravels and various little ships. But eventually you just decide to make your way further along docklands, across Southern Bridge, and you're taken through the streets until eventually you make your way to this bridge. You notice two very imposing looking buildings. One huge, gothic, beautiful structure, and to its east, across the way from it, you see a large amphitheatre. Huge coliseum.
Ooh.
No,
Wait.
that looks like an above-ground fighting pit.
Holly, is that... Storm just kind of gestures to the arena. Is that open to the public? Like, can we take a look in there? I'm curious.
I assume it is.
Yep, you know that is the Blood Sands, the main coliseum for Ventral City.
It's called the Blood Sands, the main Coliseum for Ventral City. Of course it's open.
Oh, well, unless anyone has any objections, I'd like to check it out.
You want to go
I'll
hit
come-
something, don't you?
Well, we could do that, but there's something
Yeah.
else.
You all make your way across the bridge and start heading towards it. You can see various posters depicting different gladiators who compete. There's one or two you recognise. There's one you recognise.
Oh,
Storm wouldn't, but the
I
rest of
know. Well, come
Sorry.
on, players who know this guy.
if you want to roll history checks.
Yeah, Jeremiah's just stunned by all the merchandise out there. Foam fingers, foam hands, foam helmets.
1 second, I need to find the handout.
Foam fingers wearing foam fingers.
And that's not it.
That does
Bear me
look
1 minute.
familiar, but the name escapes me.
Yeah. Okay, what the fuck?
DM's digging for his massive pile of notes.
Yes.
Through his massive backlog of characters.
Let's see. Introduce the mistress. Check. Torment them with fast food. Check. Get them to the arena. Check.
Next is attending a concert by the Rolling Stones, literally Rolling Stones. It's avant-garde art. You wouldn't necessarily understand it. They call it rock music.
Oh, here's a little something to fill the air. Holly! you might have noticed something during all the time we've been traveling together.
Yes, what's that?
Storm's companion, the big bird, the
Mm-hmm.
eagle, Bolt. He's redder than he used to be. Isn't that interesting?
Do tell, I would have no idea what you're
Sounds
talking about. I would assume she knows about that from her observations.
Well, she'd notice it, but she'd have to ask
Oh,
about it.
there? I thought he was not there anymore.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you notice that indeed Bolt is bigger and redder than he used to be.
Does she recognize what the deal is with Bolt?
Roll me a nature check.
I can't
Right.
roll.
All right, I'll roll it for you.
Yeah. Probably still has her same stats.
Yeah, you recognize that Bolt is now a phoenix.
She says, change has been a theme for all of us. Has it not?
Oh, right. You've noticed. Yeah. Similar to you, Bolt had a bad encounter with some poison, and it claimed his life. Storm just kind of scritches under Bolt's chin. But thankfully, his lady love was around to set things right. And I'm eternally grateful for that.
She nods.
Okay. Since I managed to find it, yeah, you recognize Sammy. You recognize this woman. Can people see that?
Yep.
Yep. Jeremiah would not be able. Did fail the history check, so.
I'd say.
What
yeah.
was her name again?
Yeah, you can
I
see
know
it
I've seen her.
written in common beneath her poster. Zati Kavadi.
Yes, Miss Cavadi. Yeah, did. Yeah, stream just shows a map apparently. City
It's
map,
a few
however.
seconds behind, so give it a sec.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Wow.
recognize there's a few people running around talking about that she's going to be in the arena in a few minutes
Oh
in
well,
the next round. So
we should probably go and see her have a bit of a fight.
So, you lot know this Sahagin?
Nosahagin, she's a black dragonborn.
Oh, my bad. This, Black Dragonborn?
Yes.
Did the Semi remember her?
Yeah, you remember that you met her at the Count's soiree a very long time ago in the adventure.
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember. I remember that.
Count Avon's soiree, where Squish did not exactly like wearing formal attire.
Nah, it was itchy.
Yes, it confines.
All
It
right,
costs.
we better go see your friend then, shall we? Storm just pushes them forward.
Make your way inside. There's a couple of different seating options. There's the ringside seats, which are about 5 silver. Going back from there, it's about 3 silver. And basically, the further up you're going, the seats are getting cheaper till it goes to about it's about 3 copper a seat.
Oh, we can pay for the best seats.
Okay. You basically are sent. How much are you willing to pay?
Oh, I think Holly's going to pay for them to get the best ones because it's
Okay.
important. Holly's splurging.
Box.
She's got dragon money.
Yeah. The boxes are about 10 gold.
Go for it, Holly.
Holly looks over at Storm and says, I can afford it. I'm playing with horde money.
You pay your 10 gold, you're taken to your box. Refreshments are brought, a little carafe of wine, a couple of carafes of wine for you all. And you watch this spectacle as these wild beasts are brought in, a couple of these giant rhinoceroses, things like that. And in the middle of it all, you can watch this black dragonborn woman, muscles rippling, swinging her great axe, taking down everything that tries. A couple of rather thick-set Goliaths are brought in. They basically going up to her. It's a very, very grueling fight. But in the end, she wins.
Well, I'm not gonna
And the
lie, I'm
stage,
impressed.
yeah,
I
the
think you
entire
can take it.
stadium,
I
the
agree.
entire stadium is roaring with approval. You can watch. She's playing the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
I can tell
and
she's pulling her punches.
and from this distance, you can almost see the smile on her face as she points directly at your box. She takes a quick bow and then she leaves as the stadium is basically cleaned up.
Well, she certainly didn't forget you lot. So, Seph, I have to ask. This
Yeah.
arena, the Blood Sands, has Storm seen it before? In a vision of the
Oh,
future, perhaps? If you remember the
roll,
mirror.
roll me a history check with advantage. They have advantage
Yes.
on this.
17.
Yep, this is the arena from your vision.
Right, well. Suddenly after that, Storm gets a lot more serious. Everyone. I've
Yes.
seen this place before.
Oh, have you?
Oh,
Storm?
you've been here before.
No, this is my first time, but we'll be coming here in the future. Everyone here, all of us, in that arena, we fight against a demon.
Just because she's a black dragonborn doesn't mean she's a demon.
No, a literal demon, like one from the hells.
Oh, right. Okay. I was going to say, you were going to set a very bad example for our son.
Wouldn't dream of it, Squish. But
Sorry,
I...
the joke was there.
Yeah. Well, this has been a day for validating portents, hasn't it?
The day's not over.
True that. Let's see if any more visions can come to fruition in what little day we have left. But
Yeah,
I
I'd say it's
thank
getting to about 4 p.m. at this point.
But I thank you all for indulging me in visiting here. I just had to confirm my suspicion.
I'd say you also notice that the roof of the Coliseum is basically covered with a large awning, basically. You make your way out of the Coliseum. Across the way, you're shown the Grand Temple. This is where all the shrines to the gods are. All the ones that are worshipped in polite society, I would say.
Yeah.
Are
Not gonna
shoes?
fight.
There are obviously evil deities aren't worshipped here. There are places in the city where they are worshipped, but for the sake of keeping the peace, the temples are basically kept separate, basically.
No shrine to Aquanox will be found here.
Aw.
Not here, no.
Nope.
You
It's
make
because
your way
polite society is afraid of power.
more that he's
No
a more
Celtia.
obscure god outside of the Cove's Court. And as you make your way north, you reach the large 8-sided octagonal crystal tower.
I'm going to argue that there was also one tiny little corner shrine where a guy with a pennant that says Salkia was waving it back and forth.
Yes, I will allow that. But yeah, you make your way across the bridge, and you can see there's another ringed wall, basically a large ring of buildings, and within them stands a large 8-sided tower, at the top of which is a large crystal gleaming in the light. This
Sorry. Sorry, I'm just reeling from Salkia being referenced of all people. That's a deep cut. People are gonna be like, who? What? It's like, you'll find out one day.
And the guy with the pennant's like, yay!
Salkia rocks!
Yes, my faith grows.
And yeah, you're allowed, even though it's getting late in the day, you are allowed to take a quick look around the little museum of magic maintained within the crystal tower.
While they're looking at the Museum of Magic, I sent you a message, Seph.
1 second.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. As you are rounding a corner, you accidentally bump into someone who drops a large pile of books. Oh. As you do so, he apologizes hurriedly, scoops them up, and runs off down a corridor. Holly, you find underneath your foot, you're very careful to place your foot upon a long pin. And I'll just roll a quick check for you. As you pick up the pin to examine it, you realize that this pin is poisoned.
You watch as Holly makes this realizes something. You see something connect in her head, and she takes off after this person, and she is running at dragon speed.
Dragon speed!
Everybody's. As soon as we notice, I assume we would be rushing after her.
Where's she running off to? Oh, I wanted to see if they had a spelljammer helmed. Yeah.
I would say Holly's moved too quick for you to see where she went.
Yes.
But the rest of you just kind of put it down to her noticing something interesting and continue with your look around the museum. You find some interesting stuff. You do indeed find a spelljammer helmet.
Yes. Oh, I'd love to get my hand on one of these someday.
Mm-hmm.
You find a lot of interesting artifacts, some from Chult. There's a couple for the Northlands. You also notice a signed copy of a very long-winded titled book signed Sal Tilmadar. You recognize on the front cover is a Teifling giving a rather egregious grin as he points towards the camera in a "yeah, it's me" sort of pose. Very Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Yeah. Do you think this is the same Tilmadar we heard about today, Jeremiah?
I wouldn't put it past it.
Jeremiah, I don't even bother asking you to roll history. You know exactly who this guy is.
Yes, it is.
I'd say Holly comes back a few minutes later.
Is
Hey,
everything
Holly,
okay?
where did you go?
I had to take care of something. I did. You needn't worry. But she shows the poisoned tipped pin. She says, the tragedy's been averted.
Is this more poison?
She nods and says, the confession is, this is also one of the reasons I was here. But don't worry. I have a friend who handled the situation.
Curiosity tilts the head.
You know, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to say I'm glad you were here then, Holly.
They will not harm anyone ever again.
Don't tell me they'll find them in the harbour.
No, no one will find them. In any case, let's be on our way.
You make
But I
your
wanted
way.
to explain how Spelljammer helms work.
Yes.
You make your way out of the magic museum.
Didn't he buy the Spelljammer helm?
They're very expensive. Storm's not that rich.
You
Does
make
Holly
your
have
way.
enough to buy the Spelljammer helm for Storm?
They're
Madam, this is
500,000 gold.
Madam, this is a priceless artifact.
Oh.
Yeah, Holly, I appreciate the gesture, but these things cost like 500,000 gold.
I didn't bring that much with me, I'm afraid.
You make your way out of the museum, back towards the canal, and you take a water taxi back
I'm sorry, I
towards.
thought you said a water tabaxi.
Same. I misheard the
There's
same
a
way.
tabaxi. It's a gondola.
Tabaxi.
It's an enchanted gondola controlled by a tabaxi. There you go.
Yeah.
You make your way across the city back to the mistress's cantina.
My god, it's a Tabaxi taxi. You finally put one in.
Yes.
Nice. Though, Holly, I gotta say, I do appreciate the gesture.
Well, as I said, the confession is that's one of the reasons I was here. I daren't say anything because I did not want to alter the events, but I had a vision.
I meant offering to buy me a Spelljammer helm. Like, wow.
She says, I have to confess, I've forgotten what things cost already.
Well, you never really did much with money anyway.
No, I could never have any money, and as you can see, that's not a problem anymore.
Well, now I
As
suppose
you
you
make
spend
in
most
the,
of the days.
As you make your way, you notice the halfling behind the bar seems to be in a bit of a better mood, and she cheerfully waves at you all.
Right, we wave back and make our way over.
So, what can I get you?
I mean,
Let's
we had
see.
a little bit of a bite on our trip through the city, but I'd be, I think a tankard of stout and maybe a little bit, maybe some of the boiled eggs and a bit of turnip.
Holly goes and
certainly-
excuses. Sorry, go ahead.
Certainly, sir, and for the rest of you.
I'm trying to find the menu again.
Holly
It's
it
all the
should be
way
at
up
the
to the top.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Best
Holly
kept.
waves off the meal and actually takes the poison dagger back to the mistress to show her. And
It's
let
a
her
bit of
know.
Yeah, there's a bit of a quick chat with the mistress. She thanks you for bringing
Yeah.
it to her. She does offer to pay you, but
Shakes her head and
There's
says, I
not
have
much
no
point.
need. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. She says, I'm heading back out now, but I felt you should know the city has many assassins. This is why I was here. And then she looks at the mistress and says, I saw Storm die from this. And then she turns and walks out. But it's averted now. And then she heads back.
the halfling woman is still taking your orders.
Gonna say, like, the moment like Holly said that to the mistress, like outside still just shivers. Ugh. Gotta chill up my spine.
Yeah, the timeline
You know
was
what?
averted.
You know what'll sort out for you? A good glass of brandy.
I'd like that very much.
She very quickly pours you one.
Bottoms up and Storm downs it in typical Stormy fashion.
Now, the boss told me and Donna that you're gonna be staying in the special section tonight. So, if you ever need anything, just let one of us know.
Knowing me and the missus, I think we'll be fine. Isn't that right, Squish? Or would you like extra pillows or...
I think we'll be okay. I've got plenty of pillows.
You
Just grins at him.
Well, no
sure
worries.
do.
I mean, I'm working till 6 a.m., but Donna takes over from 6 till 6 in the morning. So, like I say, just you recognize Donna. She's the one who's a bit surly, but
So, Icy, I believe you were actually about to say something earlier.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, I
I
thought
thought
so. No? Okay. Just wanted to make sure you got your chance to say your piece.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Okay, just wanted to check. Just saying, this is damn good brandy.
there's nothing but the finest in this cantina, sir. Nothing but the finest.
Well, I'd like another go at the finest, if you'll oblige.
Certainly, it's part of the Counterbear Special Reserve.
Ooh.
It's about 10 years old. It's one of his first brandies.
Whoa. Well, you're saying nothing but the finest. You mean it? So is anyone else gonna get some food along with our drinks, or are we just boozing it up tonight?
Well, I have my eggs and turnip.
I'll have the steamed deer. Mitty will have the rest of the deer.
Me and my birdie boy son will have the roasted carp and peas, if you don't mind.
Holly says, I shall dine in. She says, I shall dine later in private.
Oh yeah, because you have a big appetite.
She nods and says, yes, I haven't quite mastered that, and I don't think anyone would want to see the results. I must confess.
So has everyone ordered what they want?
Yep.
Okay. The food is soon brought out to you. You got a nice little quiet booth table for you can all get round. Bella brings the food. She brings you some more drinks, and you spend the rest of the evening enjoying yourselves. There's a bard on later in the evening. There's a couple of bards that are on. It's generally a nice night. Eventually, it gets to about I say it gets to about midnight, and you make your way back to your rooms.
Imagine we're gonna have a bed much bigger than our cot. So it'll be nice to sprawl out
Oh,
a bit,
yeah.
eh, Squish?
Yeah. You can tell these are rooms kept for the mistress's guests.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it seems the room service isn't ready. It isn't completely done. There's a young lady in there.
No, there's no young lady in there.
Oh, must have been mistaken then. Trigger the light.
So
Yeah.
I gotta ask, like, how soft is our bed? Like, do we basically just sink into it? Because I imagine it's like that.
These are the high luxury stuff.
Yes.
I'm having flashbacks, Coob.
Yeah.
So, this is a bed.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah, Orla is with Ardeth. Squish is with Storm.
Hell
Kids.
yes.
I would say that Samael and Jeremiah get their own rooms if they want.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'll
A
do
little
that.
smaller
Okay.
than the couple rooms, but separate rooms.
So, is there anything anyone would like to do?
I think we're okay. Well, I am at least. How about you guys?
Yeah, there's just gonna be a whole lot of like Goblin and Tabaxi snuggling and smooching and talking about how much they love each other.
Did you really just quote the Emperor's New Groove?
Yes, I did.
It's a good movie. Why
It's
not?
a brilliant movie. I found out recently too that Potch's
That's-
wife voices Edna in the Owl House.
Yep. Wendy Malick.
Oh, I can hear it now. Yeah.
It was driving me nuts. I recognized her voice, but just couldn't place it.
She entered my life on a cold February morning in 2001 when Just Shoot Me came on Channel 4 like 7:30 in the morning before college. And she's never left.
She's wonderful.
Is there anything you'd like to do, Orla?
Orla does look to Ardeth and say, I know you were frightened, but you work so hard not to show it. You can put your feelings out with me. You know that. Just be with me tonight.
It isn't fair, Orla. It's knowing what I used to be like.
Whoa!
Yeah.
What was
It's
that?
knowing what I used. That would be icy. It's knowing what I used to be like. I've already told you what happened back on
Yes.
my own world. What
That's
happened
the
in the next world we found.
and that's the fear I'm talking about. You don't need to ever worry about being anything other than who you are right now. And who you are right now is good and pure and beautiful. And you're
It's not
someone
that
I
it's
love.
it's not it's not that, it's just whenever they looked at me, it was like they were seeing. I felt as though they were going to start bowing down and worshipping me.
Well, don't worry, I'm here to keep you humble.
It's not that it's hard for me to. I can't be the hero they want.
That's what I'm saying. Just be you. That's enough. Don't worry about then, or before, or the future. Just the now. Remember, I've tried to help you with this.
I
Live it
suppose it
and
didn't help.
here with me now.
Yes,
Be
it didn't help. It didn't help seeing my father.
I understand. But if you're too far away, living in the past or the future, you're not here with me. And I want you here with me. Do you want to be here with me?
Of course I do.
Then be here with me. And she moves to just embrace her. It's a very loving embrace, like to try to hug her, and then to help her get her like gear off, not like in a sexy way, like in a let's chilled out way.
And I think that is where we shall leave it for this week.
Oh, Seth, actually, there was one thing I
What?
wanted to do. So, as like Storm and Squish are giggles, cuddly and snuggly, he's just gonna like tilt her head up and give her a very affectionate kiss on the lips, very soft, very gentle, and he's just gonna smile at her and say, "Both told me what happened in Middy's room, as it were. No more crying till the end, okay?"
I
Jurnis.
couldn't hear a word you said.
Ah,
Oh,
thank you for letting me know. Okay, so
I'm sorry, my Discord's been finockery all night.
okay, no worries. Let's hope it goes better this time. So yes, Goblin and Tabaxi snuggles, head
Ah!
tilt, kiss on the lips, and he just gently says, "Bolt told me what happened in Middy's room while you guys were playing. No crying until the end, okay?"
The bird's a snitch! Ah! No, I'm joking, but seriously though, it's kind of upsetting.
I understand. But let's not spend our time together being sad, hmm? Let's live every moment and love every moment we live. Yeah?
Yeah. I think it'll take me a little while not to be upset about it, but I think we'll be okay.
And he tussles her hair. More than okay. It's gonna be perfect.
She just hugs him really tight.
Aww.
oh.
And he hugs her really tight in return.
Seriously though,
And
Bolt's
with
gonna get it
that-
for this.
Oh, he knows, but he loves you.
And
Oh,
with
and you won't be
that-
able to get him in the plane of fire, just saying.
And on that note, we shall end for this week. So, play of the game.
Didn't really do much this week, to be honest.
Play of the game?
I would say play of the game is Return of Holly.
Yes,
Okay.
very much. And
We
finally,
didn't really have a fail of the game.
I'm going to say the fail of the game was the assassin who came to try to kill Storm and met a dragon. That's going to be fail of the game.
okay. And finally, any thoughts, theories, or ideas?
Harramount!
I just wonder how we're gonna end up in like the Blood Sands fighting a fucking demon.
Oh, you
Why
have
not
no idea.
both?
You have no idea what I got in store for you all.
You wake up in stocks.
So, going down the list, it is a good night from Cork,
Good night, everybody.
a good night from Ice, a good night from
Icy.
Icy,
And everyone.
a good night from Jurnis,
Good night, everybody.
a good night from Kubar,
Good night, everybody.
a good night from D,
So magical.
and it is a good night from me.
Good
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Night.